Hi, welcome back to Low Carb Cocktails. I'm Frank. This is Omar with Oak Wash Ceramics. Decided to do a little bit of road trip for this video. Omar, like I mentioned, owns Oak Wash Ceramics, does handmade tiki mugs right here in Louisiana, and man, his stuff's incredible. So he just released a Star Wars themed tiki mug, fell in love with, and I said, oh man, can I do a video with you involving this mug? I have an idea of a recipe that's kind of themed off of the mug. I have a couple of his mugs, and every time they're just gorgeous. Every one of them is absolutely gorgeous. And every now and then I get inspired to create a recipe based on the look, and not only that, the story of your mugs. Because a lot of them you have the artifacts, and there's a story behind some of his mugs, and so I take that story as inspiration to make a recipe sometimes. But when I saw this one based off of the Book of Boba Fett, was it? Right?
Yes, the Book of Boba Fett's a big inspiration for this, for sure. So, can we talk about it?
Yeah, let's tell us about your mug.
So yeah, this is my newest mug design, and this is called the Chieftain. It's based on the Tusken Raider, the main Tusken Raider, called the Chieftain, from the Book of Boba Fett. I have been making mugs for about 4 or 5 years now, and I've always wanted to do something Star Wars inspired. When the Book of Boba Fett came out 2 or 3 years back, I saw the Tusken Raider head, the Chieftain's head, and it had that Polynesian inspiration, as the same people always have had that little bit of inspiration, even in the older films. And I thought, man, how cool would it be if you could hold that head in your hand and drink a drink out of it? And here we are, you know, a couple of years later, I finally have just dove in. And tomorrow, August 3rd, I'm going to have 4 different glaze choices offered up on my website. They're going to start at a lower price point with bone. They'll work their way up all the way to what I'm calling, you know, the sand finish or the Chieftain finish, where it's got these different fades, and then it's got like a chrome effect for the eyes, grill, and the antennas. These all hold 16 ounces of booze with ice, which is actually a good bit. You know?
Yeah, it's like for a tiki drink, that's actually sometimes 2.
Yeah, it is 2. And these are 100% ceramic made right here in our shop in Louisiana. We're in Gonzales, Louisiana, so not too far from you.
No. It takes me like 15, 20 minutes to get here with traffic.
Yeah, what are the odds that someone who loves tiki and someone who makes tiki mugs are that close together? But it's like a match made in heaven. We've known each other for a few years now.
Yeah, I think you had started. I caught you like maybe on your second release on Instagram, and I've been following you since. Yeah. And you've been on my show once before when you did the what was it? It was it the Leaky Tiki 3?
I think it's been that long, Jesus.
Yeah, I think it's Leaky Tiki 3.
Yeah, so, time has been messed up since 2020. I can't really tell you where we are anymore.
When I've seen this on your Facebook and on your Instagram, and I've seen this everywhere, but the details that when you're actually holding it, like first off, you said fitting in your hand, it fits in your hands wonderfully. Yeah, for sure. This is awesome. But what I didn't notice in any of the pictures you posted, and I know you go to a long painstaking environment to get the details like this, but the bandages that's around the Tuskens' masks and robes, that the texture of the bandage that you have here is incredible. Like, I didn't notice that in the pictures. When I got here, I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. And I really like the details that you have, like right here with the Polynesian carvings that you have along within the bandages.
So I have to give credit to my friend, because I had sculpted the mug, and I felt like I was pretty close to done, and my friend Pascal reached out to me. He actually works for Marvel over at Disney.
Oh, nice.
And he sent me some inspiration to push it further, and he really inspired me big time by giving me cool reference things to add this detail on top of the texture. So, you know, adding that bandage texture really does a lot because you can feel it.
Yeah.
And then coming back with these different details, and they are all individually very different and all inspired by different things through Polynesia and Samoa history. But, you know, I took most of things that were already in the Chieftain and kind of just tiki-fied it even more. Yeah. So I have to give a big shout out to my Patreon members, and then of course Pascal, who's been a really good friend of mine since I got into mug making.
So you do have a Patreon, so let's make sure everybody knows about your Patreon.
Yeah, we have a Patreon. If you go to our social media, if you just Google Oak Wash, you'll find our Facebook or Instagram. You'll then go, if you go to our bio, it'll go to our link tree, and we're on, if you just search Oak Wash on Patreon. We do have a few spots left on the middle tier. The top tier has been sold out for a long time. I'm not going to be adding more. That's been asked a million times. I've gone over that with my members. It's capped. Now, you can get in at a lower level or mid-level. We have a Discord. I give people early access. There's certain behind the scene things I do from time to time. But I love having that community.
Well, not only that, I mean, like a lot of times with Patreon members and Patreon people who have Patrons, this like really is just like a cash grab to help. Hey, just help me out, kind of thing. But yours is a little bit different. Like you have exclusive glazes and sometimes exclusive mugs for the patrons.
Correct.
So there's a huge benefit. Like this mug here, I think you said.
This is a Patreon exclusive. So this glaze, this finish is going to be a Patreon exclusive. So it's only for my Patreon members. And that's fun. I love doing stuff like that. I try not to make people feel too jealous, but I want to make sure they get something really, really cool, you know?
And everybody else should feel jealous because of the people who are supporting you on Patreon. And I know, like, and I've seen before where you've done other mugs and then you've done your standard glazes, and then later on down the line you say, hey, I got this Patreon glaze, a Patreon exclusive glaze in this previous mug that I've done, and you've done some stuff like that. So being a Patreon member of yours is like really beneficial, especially if you're in a Tiki and you want those really one-off, unique designs that only like a few handful of people are going to have access to. That's going to really benefit people for joining your Patreon.
Yes.
So we've been talking about your mugs and everything you do, and let's kind of talk about the drink that we're making for you. I'm going to pull up my recipe because I don't have it 100% memorized. This recipe was designed with inspiration of the Chieftain Tiki mug back in Boba Fett. So a couple of scenes that really kind of caught me. I'm thinking, well, when you look back at the book of Boba Fett, the only really thing they talked about drinking was from the black melon of the Jundland Waste. So I'm like, well, let's start with that. So where the only drink I could find in the series was the drinking from the black melons. So I took that as inspiration. So then we took the concept of the chieftain, the Tusken Raiders and all of that thing, a couple of things that happened within the series to kind of really bring some flavors together. So let's kind of get started here. We're going to go with a dark Jamaican rum, or black Jamaican rum, some people call it, just kind of represent the black melon of the Jundland Wasteland. So we're going to be using some Smith & Cross, and you can use a couple of different ones. I like the Smith & Cross because it has a higher ABV, 57% ABV. We'll be using some Pebble Ice, so it's going to have a lot of dilution in it. So we want to bring a higher ABV into that, so that that dilution's really not affected too much by that. So we're going to do 1.5 ounces of a dark Jamaican rum. And why Jamaican rum? Because it's Tiki.
Yeah.
Because it's Tiki. Why not?
Heck yeah.
So next we're going to go with an Agricole rum. For those who aren't familiar with Agricole rum, it's a pure cane juice rum. And yes,
I'll take the paper.
You'll take the paper. I was going to put that in my pocket.
You're good. You're good. I got you.
But this is from Sugar Fields, and a local distillery here in Louisiana. And what they did is they partnered with a local farm here, Magnolia Mounds, to have a special varietal sugarcane stalks done for this. So this should be a nice little
fresh,
nice pop.
That was a good pop.
It was a good pop. So I went with the Agricole rum because usually you find some Agricole rum in some Tikis and things like that. But Agricole rum has a real lot of earthiness flavor to it, some grass, some vegetal notes that come from the land itself. Just kind of like the Tusken Raiders kind of live off the land. So that's sort of the concept of why use Agricole rather than something else.
Heck yeah.
So next, we're going to go with my low-carb melon liqueur. And if you're watching this and you're not doing low-carb or keto or something, just get midori. It's just as good. And this is, again, for the black melons of Junland. We're going to use a little bit of melon liqueur. We're going to do a 1/2 ounce of this. If I didn't mention on the Agricole, that was 1 ounce of the Agricole rum.
And we'll have the recipe online. If you get this mug, you'll get a recipe card.
Yeah, I think we're talking about that.
We're talking about that. We'll have the recipe card.
He'll have the recipe, and when you purchase a mug, there'll be a card in the mug. So just buy the mug and get the recipe. You know what? I might hide the recipe until after the mug
start
release.
Making up ingredients. The next one is 17 ounces of pineapple juice.
17.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So next we're going to go with 2 ounces of pineapple juice, and this is where our carbs are really going to start coming in. So this total carb count on this entire drink is barely over 6.
Oh, that's great.
So I'm going to go 2 ounces of a light pineapple juice. And I will have the carb counts and everything else in the description below. 1 ounce of a light orange juice. This is simply light. Use just your regular orange juice, if not, doing low carb and stuff.
And that's how many ounces?
1 ounce.
1 ounce for that one, okay.
So we do 1 ounce of a lime oleocitrate. and that's going to be 0 net carbs.
That's a cool color.
Yeah, so this is the allspice dram that I made, and I'm not sure why. Last time I made it was kind of brownish, clearish. This one came out cloudy, but it's still. I think I let this one sit too long, so it's like really all spicy. It's all allspice.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to do a 1/4 ounce of this because this is potent. And the allspice dram or pimento dram, it's really the same thing, different words. We're going to do a 1/2 ounce of orgeat, which, as I mentioned, is an almond syrup. Next, we're going to do a cinnamon syrup. And that's going to be 1 ounce of a cinnamon syrup. And this is a brand called RX Sugar. So this is made with allulose, so that has 0 carbs in it.
That's cool.
And you'll find it's like, I can make it. It tastes the same as me making it.
Okay, so yeah.
So it's just easier for me to buy it than make it.
Awesome.
Because especially if I'm on a time crunch or something like that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can't make everything.
Well,
all from scratch.
I do most of myself because of the low carb. And next we're going to do a ginger syrup. I'm going to do a 1/2 ounce of a ginger syrup. So we're going to do a 1/4 ounce of a grenadine.
Wow, there are a lot of ingredients in this.
I told you there's a lot of ingredients in this.
That's crazy, yeah.
This is a lot of ingredients. I'm going to do 3 dashes of bitters. I'm using El Guapo, local company in New Orleans. They're Polynesian Kiss bitters. This is going to be passion fruit, guava, coconut, and pineapple, along with some spices as well.
Beautiful.
So the whole point behind this is, the story behind this is, we're just kind of go with the dark Jamaican rum because it's Tiki, why not? The Agricole rum because the Tuskens lived off the land, and so we're going to use a rum that kind of features that earthiness of the land. The pineapple juice, orange juice, lime juice, like the rum, like the Jamaican rum, it's Tiki. Why not? And then we're going to talk about the allspice dram. So there was a scene where Boba Fett went and got the speeders and showed the Tuskens how to ride them. And then when they go hit the syndicate, who was running spice. So we kind of let's get the allspice in there to kind of represent that scene from the series where the Tusken Raiders were trying to like beat the syndicate and have them not, shoot them up and everything every time they were passing.
Heck yeah.
Then the orgeat represents the juice from the black melon because it was a creamy, milky type substance in the melon. So we went with our little creamier type texture with the orgeat with that. A cinnamon syrup and a ginger syrup also have a little bit of a little spicy note to it. And that's kind of that strong will that the Tuskens have. They're strong-willed people. They're going to stay to their own, but if you push them, they'll push back kind of thing. And then the grenadine for, they've been in a whole lot of battles before. And so a little bloodiness for the grenadine, kind of set that up. And some bitters to just bring it all together. Now, there's one thing, I saw this thing on TikTok the other day, and it was talking about the Tusken Raiders, how back from episode 1, during the pod race. So they were like shooting at Anakin. Did they try time travel back to prevent what was going to happen to them later?
Could be. It's amazing. If you get into the whole Star Wars community, it's just like Tiki community. People just dig and find stories and lore and everything else, and
it's like
try tying things together.
Yes. So like, were they just trying to kill Anakin at that point in the pod race to prevent him from slaughtering the Tuskens later? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. So we're going to add some ice to this, and then we'll give it a good hell of a shake. So you want to put it in your mug?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so let's go ahead and here.
Like it was meant to be.
Bro,
I told you, look, that's pretty dang good, huh?
Let's put a little more in there, a little more crushed ice. Let's see what happens here.
Like a glove.
Oh, we can put a little more drink in that one too.
I told you, look. How many ounces was this total?
Oh, that was 1, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10.5 ounces plus ice. That is what? That is close.
That's on the edge.
That is. So there's a thing called a meniscus. That's when it bulges over without falling out.
But
yeah. So let's see if we can get this in. I don't know if it'll work. But the one thing as far as Tiki straw always, you can shove that out there, but that'll stick out the back. But the Gaffi stick,
Oh, yeah.
The Gaffi stick.
It's the cinnamon stick.
Cinnamon stick right there.
You go.
So that's it. Go ahead and give that a try.
Yeah,
I know what it
okay,
tastes
awesome.
like. I've had it.
Oh, you've had it.
I've had it.
I'm just getting a special edition today. Man, that's good. There's a lot going on in there.
Yeah, and what I like about it is I played around with this recipe with the ratios a couple of times to get it right where it needed to be. I think it's well balanced where it's not all just sweet juices. That's why we went with the allspice. We went with the ginger and we went with the cinnamon, the bitters to tone some of the sweetness down. Whereas if especially if it didn't have the allspice and it didn't have the ginger, it would have been very, very sweet.
It has a lot of depth. There's a lot of stuff going on in
Yeah,
there.
there's a lot of things in there, but I think, like I said, I've changed my ratios a couple of times where, hey, this was too sweet, let me add this. Now it's too powerful, let's dial it back.
Yeah.
And I think I found a really good ratio where everything works good together.
Yeah. Heck yeah. It's great, dude.
So let's one more time, let's plug Omar's an oak wash. So we have,
Talk. Okay.
yeah.
So, yeah, my website is www.oakwash.com. These mugs go on sale Saturday, August 3rd. It's going to be a timed edition. So that's, you get in, you get your order in when we close the timed edition, which is probably going to be a week or so from now. That's it. I'm not going to make any more of these. So,
And if you're watching this afterwards, sorry.
yeah, it's okay.
Enjoy the drink, but you won't be able to get the mug.
Yeah, once the editions are done, they're locked. I'll sign them all. We'll hand number them with we do that all on the bottom, and that's it, man. You know?
So yeah, like you say, these are handmade.
Oh yeah.
And then detailed after the fact as well.
Oh yeah.
All right, so one last plug for your shop, Mr. Omar.
Yeah. So we're located here in Gonzales, Louisiana. This new mug drops tomorrow, August 3rd at oakwash.com. It's going to be a timed edition, so you've got about a week or two to order this. Once the timed edition closed, I won't be making any more of these mugs, so it's going to be a one and done thing. Each one will be signed and numbered by me. They're all made right here in the shop. Tons of detail, as you've described already. And yeah, I'm looking forward to people getting these in their hands. If you're a big Book of Boba Fett fan, and if you're a nerd like us, then you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this mug. So
I'm sure you have. Oh, let me phrase it. You want to do more Star Wars themed stuff.
of course, I just need to figure. Like you asked me earlier, like what's my next thing I'm doing? I don't really ever know. I have tremendous writer's block, like any good artist. And I just pick up a bag of clay and I start sculpting, and things happen. So
yeah, I've seen that before, where you post like a reel or a live on Instagram or something like that, and then you're like, "Hey, we're playing with some clay today," and like the next day, I'm like, "Holy shit, look at that's amazing!"
Yeah, once I start, I normally don't stop. It's just like if I commit to doing something, I normally have to finish it. And sometimes not all work sees the light of day. I've got a shelf in there of rejects, and not everything makes the cut, but it's good. You have to have good and bad things to get to what you said you consider some of my best work, and I'm really happy with this one.
Yeah, like I said, when I first got here and I saw the mug in person and I touched it, and I said, I think the earliest mug I have of yours is the Sleeping Beauty. So looking at the progress and evolution that you've gone through over years, the attention to details and how everything looks is just incredible. We talked about it before with the design of the mug, but I say it every time, and I feel like a broken record. I feel like I'm not blowing smoke up your ass or anything, but every time I see a mug, it's better than the last.
For sure.
So I could.
Thank you.
It's not, and don't get me, not that his other mugs are bad. They're amazing.
Oh, there's so many.
They're amazing. His mugs are amazing.
I think since 2020, there's been so many mug makers now, and it's growing. Ceramics has grown big time, in and out of Tiki. I find a new artist every day, and so it's just at a point now where I just keep finding more and more artists, and they're all so talented. And there's so many different things people are doing with clay. So I just noticed, I love how the condensation's starting to happen on this grill, and it's turned it like a shiny, smooth, and it was the condensation. It just looks cool.
Oh,
yeah.
That is. Well, not every. It's happening in the eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, that condensation's coming up. It's giving that little shine, a little gloss to it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Sorry, I was just things you don't see until you put a drink in something and start drinking out of it, and you're like, wow, look what this glaze, does, and so yeah, for sure.
So yeah. I was just checking to make sure I got a name right. I think your next one ought to be Chimere.
Chimere? Okay. Okay.
That mask he had in Acolytes
was wicked. Yeah. And I liked Acolyte a lot. I thought it was a really good show. So we'll see.
Yeah.
like I said, I thought on this for like 2.5, 3 years, and I finally just committed. And it's weird.
But there's so many different things you could do with Star Wars.
Too many.
Too
many.
There's, I can see why you have no idea what's next. Options are endless. It's been around since, like, I saw it in the theaters in '78.
Yeah, so it's been around longer than I've been alive. So it's a long time.
But the options with things you can do are just endless. But not only that, just the other stuff. You do a lot of stuff that's Disney inspired as well.
Oh yeah.
So
big inspiration for me. Disney and Tiki walk hand in hand. So, and I'm really inspired by a lot of stuff. I mean, it's really just whatever motivates you, your favorite artist. You look up to the OGs in any craft, and you're like, wow, look what they were able to do years ago. Like, you know, and then you try to carry that legacy on with your own artwork going forward.
And you're doing a great job with it. I'll say that.
For sure.
So, like I say, once this series is closed out, sales gone, you'll have something back. So don't let this, if you go to the website and you check it out, don't let that be the last time you go to Omar's website.
For sure. We'll have more stuff coming.
He's always got stuff. Make sure you're following him on Instagram, Facebook. You do a lot of shop stuff on YouTube. I think you do.
I'm
some
just
building
getting my
like
feet
that.
wet still on YouTube. It is trying to keep up with social media. It's moving at such a fast pace now.
Yes.
And the world is changing very, very quickly, especially in the last year. I feel like social media algorithms, everything, it's really being pushed on different platforms. So you really have to pick your poison and stick there, because if you try to scatter yourself too thin.
I know. Like I said, YouTube's my number one.
Yeah.
Instagram's like number two, and Facebook is only there to like post videos from YouTube. That's all I really do.
You can also sign up if you don't stick on social media so much. If you go to our link on our Instagram or Facebook, we do have a newsletter you can sign up for. I don't send out a ton of newsletters. I mainly just send an email when we have a mug drop. So if you're not on social media and you still want to get a mug, we can email you. So we'll do that from time to time.
Yeah, and like you have mugs going out multiple times throughout the year.
We ship thousands of mugs every year, so I can tell you we are making mugs, as many as we can.
So this year alone, how many, outside of your contract jobs, how many mugs have you released this year?
Mug designs?
Yes.
3 or 4 personal mug designs.
Right.
Totaling probably 1,500 mugs to 2,000 mugs.
So my point to that is going to be that we're in August, and so you're basically doing you're doing a mug every 2 months.
It feels like it, yes.
For like your personal shop
every
sales.
quarter, we normally put out a mug or 2, and so we just put out Coro, and we're still in the 3rd quarter. We're putting out a 2nd mug. Come 4th quarter, we'll have 1 or 2 more mugs.
And you got a shop coming.
Yeah, we do.
You got a storefront.
We have a storefront in Baton Rouge I'm working on. It's a lot of work.
So for anyone local or traveling through the Baton Rouge area, South Louisiana, pretty soon you'll have a storefront up.
And I'll announce that on social media. I'll make a video of the place, and there'll be a grand opening where you can come and get a slice of pizza.
I'll be there.
Check it out.
I might not be having a pizza. Maybe I will be.
We're going to have a place. If you're coming through, you can go and visit. It'll be open on the weekend, so Friday through Sunday, which is good, because if I'm not there, they have a register up front, and if I am there, I'll be doing sculpting. I'll offer classes. It's going to be a whole thing, but we just signed on that, so it's gonna be a little while till I get set up.
I know, but I'm looking forward to that. You can just, because I know you've been wanting a retail space for a long time. We've talked about
and this
that
is a shared artist space, which is really cool because there's tons of other artists there. It's kind of like like an indoor flea market, but there's air conditioning, so it's hot here in Louisiana.
So all right, guys. So that's gonna be it. So again, check out Oak Wash on basically all the social medias. You can find them. I know I have a strong presence on Instagram. That's why I catch most of your stuff.
That's where I spend most of my time.
And that's why I catch most of your stuff is on Instagram. So follow him on Instagram. Check out his shop. Hopefully you can get one of these ordered in time before the release is done. And if you don't, check back again later, because he's going to have other stuff up, like these really cool pendants.
Heck yeah.
So you got t-shirts and hats on your website.
Yeah, we do.
So and I got my Omar
That's right.
shirt
Those are long gone.
Those are long gone.
Those are awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, I had to come here and sport my.
Gotta look good.
Gotta look good. Gotta look good for Oak Wash. So guys, thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a great day. We're gonna drink some more of this stuff and have a great day ourselves.
Heck yeah.
See you later.
Peace, guys.